What's up guys, welcome back to another Evil Dead video, and in this video I'm going to be telling you guys the best build in my opinion for every single demon. And we're going to start down the line here. We're going to start off with my favorite, Warlord. So with most of my demons, I focus on a basic build. What that means is I focus on the strength of my basic Deadites instead of my elites. So I don't really focus on elites at all, I just focus on the basics and Henrietta herself. So if you want to screenshot this, you can. But I'm going to show you some things that I'd like to upgrade on this build. Now obviously the first thing I'm going to upgrade is Henrietta's stun recovery speed. So if she does get stunned, she recovers pretty fast. As you know, she's a very easy target, especially for warriors and hunters. So make sure you have this all the way up in case you do get stunned. You also want to have this up, Lingering Gas. It increases the duration of gas leak ability by 35%. Rank it up all the way. The reason why this is good is because if you're going against a team of warriors, this pretty much halts them in their tracks and really can fuck them up and give you more time to get more hits on them. And I can't tell you, like, from the survivor experience going against Henrietta with this, it's really effective. So make sure you have your gas duration all the way up, and then you want to have increased damage by the gas leak ability as much as you can. I got it up to 25%. So focus on the gas leak because that ability is actually really good, and you want to make sure you have that maxed out for Henrietta. And then you want to increase the health of the boss units. So obviously you want to increase Henrietta's health by 35% because, you know, when you're going against hunters, she's pretty much like a sitting target. Obviously she's like really big flying around. So you want that extra health that can really help you out. And then you want to increase the balance bar length for basic units by 35% so your basics don't get stunned as much. You also want to increase the damage of your Deadites puke because puking is very important, especially if you're focusing on a basic build for Henrietta. For Warlord, you want to make sure you have the puke all the way up. That stops them from dodging and it does more damage. And then you want to increase the maximum health of your basic units by 35%. So this build is buffing Henrietta and buffing the basics. You can see I'm not really focusing on anything elites because, you know, I don't use the elites. So we're not going to focus on that. And then on the top right, you want to make sure you get increased damage dealt by basic units all the way up to 35%. And then increased damage dealt by Henrietta by 20%. So these two is really what you want to do. Most of you guys have been following me for a while. You know how I play Henrietta. You know I really focus on her basics. They're very strong. And this build seems to work out perfectly for me. And make sure you have Pain Parasite ranked up all the way too. That way evil units gain health from damage they deal from melee attacks. So if your Deadite's getting injured and you're about to die, do some melee attacks on a survivor and your health will basically increase. Think of it as like you're support Ash, but for Deadites. And you could just hit them and gain health. And then also I put 1 point into reduce cooldown timer for the portal basics. And I don't really focus on anything that has to do with energy because I never have a problem with energy in game. You know, I'm a very fast-paced, aggressive demon, so when I run out of energy, I just quickly fly around and grab more. So I don't focus on anything that has to do with, you know, infernal energy or infernal orbs or anything like that. Now we have Puppeteer. So Puppeteer is pretty much kind of the same. I really focus on the basics, but I do put some points into the elites because Puppeteer's elites are probably the only ones that I actually do like. So we're going to go over it real quick. You want to increase the damage radius of the Thunderstrike ability. The Thunderstrike ability is really effective. It's good for crowd control. It's good for extra damage. Sometimes they don't see it coming. So try to get that up as much as you can. And then you also want to increase the damage inflicted by the Thunderstruck by 10%. And then you want to increase the range of the Telekinetic Surge ability by 18%. I feel like these things are very good to do, very good to have up because they're very effective in game. And then I increase the health of the elite units by 15%. Like I said, this is more of a basic build, but I do tend to use his elites a little bit, so I had to get their health up a little bit, so we got up to 15%. You also want to do Scared to Death, where evil units' melee attacks increase survivors' fear. So if you get this all the way up, that means every time you do a successful swing on a survivor, their fear goes up by 2 points per hit. And that can add up really fast, and you get their fear level high. This is good for survivors that are really trying to keep their fear level low. This is a way like they can't really dodge it because once you hit them enough times, their fear level is going to go up regardless. And then you have heavy damage basics. You want to increase damage dealt by basic units. I put 1 point into increased damage dealt by boss units and increased damage dealt by elite units. You can see I have 3 points into this one though and 1 point into each of these because we focus more on the basics. And then you want to get Puppet Master up, increase the maximum health gained and damage dealt by basic evil units by 5%. So you want to put some points into this, and then you want to put a point into this as well. The longer you spend possessing a unit, the more damage they inflict. So we only have 1 point into this, but if you want to get more points into it, you can. So with this, you actually do right now I do 1% extra damage per second. So the longer it goes on, that's more damage is going to be adding up. which is really good. And then obviously you want to increase the balance bar of your basic units all the way up because they get stunned very easily. Even with this all the way up, they still get stunned very easily, so you want to make sure you have that up as well. You want to increase the blast radius of the self-destruct ability when you decide to blow yourself up. You want to make sure you have the max radius on that because that can do a lot of damage to survivors and to the book. And a lot of situations where, like, if they're in a house or a close quarter area, that explosion damage can really come in clutch. You want to increase the health of the basic units, obviously. And then when you possess evil units, hit a survivor, you will gain infernal energy, which means if you possess your Deadite, you attack the survivors with every hit, you gain more energy, and that keeps you in possession longer, making you even stronger. So highly suggest you get this all the way up. You'll get 3 infernal energy per hit, and if you get enough hits, you can stay in possession long enough to knock the survivor down. And that's really it for this, for Puppeteer. I don't really, like I said, I don't focus on energy. Anything with energy, I don't do, so nothing down here is checked off. Mostly the top half. I feel like that's where the power comes in for the build. So if you want to copy this build, I've seen a lot of people say they use this build and it worked for them. So hopefully this build can work for you as well. Now, although I'm confident in my Warlord and Puppeteer build that I'm not really going to change, Necromancer is probably my weakest demon so far, and I'm still playing around with his build. So if you guys are Necromancer mains, let me know in the comments anything I should change on this build. As far as my other 2 builds for Warlord and Puppeteer, I'm very confident in those. I'm not going to change those, but this build is still a work in progress because Necromancer is by far my weakest demon that I'm still learning to play good with. Now in this build, I pretty much use the same thing where I focus on the basics. I think Necromancer has the slowest elites out of all 3 of them, and that's why I hate using them, especially because I'm a fast-paced type of demon. His slow elites are really slow for me. I know they can do a shitload of damage, but as far as a good survivor, can easily dodge an elite, and yeah, so I don't focus elites on this build. But I did do increased balance bar length on elite units by 20% in case you do want to use elites. You want to increase maximum health of elite units. You want to reduce the amount of infernal energy required to place a portal boss, which actually really comes in handy. I like that. Increase the effect of his skeleton resurrection skill by 49 feet. Increase damage dealt by his basic units and increase damage dealt by boss units. Like I said, basic and boss, you want to get those all the way up. Then I put 3 points into this where you increases the amount of healing that Evil Ash receives when he uses his infernal invigoration grab. So when he grabs them up and he sucks their whatever and he gets some health back from it, he could get 40% health back from that, which can really come in handy. But it kind of could not, it seemed like it does nothing when you get ganged up on by a whole team. You still get like no health from it, so I don't know about this one. But yeah, I put that up. And then increases the Necromancer's Warcry effect area by 25%, so I put some 3 points into that. Now for Comeback Stronger, I put 3 points into this. Resurrected skeletons have increased maximum health, come back with full health, and deal more damage. And then you can see on the bottom that basic units do 40% more damage. They have 40% health. Elites do 40% damage, and elites have 40% more health. So this is, I think, really effective to get all the way up. So try to do that. And then obviously you must put a point into this. Increase the flutist's effective range by 180 feet. The flutist is the golden child of this Necromancer. He is really can come in clutch and help you down a whole team, even if tanky warriors, because that flutist provides extra damage to them. So make sure you have the extra range so you can place it a little bit farther from them and do more damage. I put 3 points into the boss units are more resistant to balance bar damage because Evil Ash is more like a melee. He's pretty much like a warrior, and when you summon him, you get jumped by everybody and you could get stunned very easily. So you want to make him more resistant to balance bar damage. So I put that all the way up to 35%. And then you want to increase the maximum health of basic units by 30%, making them even more tanky. You want to have skeletons attack more frequently. As you know, skeletons, the Necromancer's AIs are actually pretty good at attacking regularly. So that's why I like to get this up. And then this, survivors cannot gain health from any source after being hit by Evil Ash attack. So this means if you successfully hit somebody with Evil Ash, they try to pop a cola, they can't pop a cola right away, and that gives you more time to actually try to get more hits on them, and then it'll repeat. And the effect duration is only 1 second, but I can't tell you how many times I was Survivor and Evil Ash hit me and I couldn't heal up, and that actually really affected me in a way. So I think it's good to have this. But like I said, this build is still a work in progress for me. I'm still changing it up. Necromancer is not my favorite demon and not my best demon I'm good with, but if you have any suggestions on this build, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, that's the build for all 3 demons. I'm sorry if I went so fast on explaining everything. I was just trying to make sure the video wasn't too long, and I made it short and sweet and to the point. But if you guys want me to talk slower in my future videos, just let me know. Hopefully you guys enjoy these videos. Like I said, drop your advice in the comments below. Let's help each other out. Demon mains, keep getting those wins, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.